you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good, looking gorgeous as ever.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you perfectly.
Okay, perfectly. Okay, so before I do get started, I want to introduce myself. My name is Chastity Buckley. I'm the host of Midnight R&B Edition, homage to Midnight Love BET, where I give all my flowers to all my R&B artists, singers, songwriters, and producers, and everybody who has changed the game in R&B. And I'm here with a legend, an R&B legend. Oh my God, you got Planet Law. Hey, Law. He's saying, oh my G is Gloria. Yes.
Hi.
R&B legend, songwriter, man, this lady has been in the game for years. And it's so dope and so amazing. Pin game is off the charts. So dope. The one and only Miss Gloria Stewart. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. Look, oh my God, Law said he's bowing in your presence. Yes, this is a legend right here. Look. I'm just like excited just to even, oh my God, to be on the live with you because man, I mean, Miss Gloria, you are just a treasure in this R&B music industry. And not even that, your pen has been in so many incredible artists, but not even just that, you have paved the way for so many people to have the career they have today. And I want to thank you so much from the bottom of my heart.
Oh, you're so very welcome. I would have it any other way.
Okay, look. And so today we're here to celebrate the 25th anniversary of the one and only Miss Toni Braxton's Secrets album. Oh my God, can you believe it's been 25 years today?
Oh my God, no.
It
seems like yesterday.
Right. And I was a baby when this album came out. I was like 6 going on 7. Yep, I was a baby. I was a little toddler. I was a little tired. I was going to 2nd grade at this time. Mm-hmm.
Second grade. Wow.
Right. And I still remember this video, Break My Heart to this day. I mean, it was so iconic and so beautiful. She really like broke through, like, y'all, that album right there just really just made her a superstar.
Yeah.
And I'm just so proud and so excited just to honor you. And not even that, you co-wrote I Love Me Some Him, which I'm beyond excited about to talk to you today about. But before we do get started, I wanted to ask you, I know everything's been so crazy since the pandemic. How have you been dealing with the pandemic?
Ooh. Well, pretty much like everybody else, just trying to keep, waiting for it to be over.
Yeah.
I just recently actually got into something that can help the entire world. Yeah, with I just became a representative or a partner with, I guess I should say.
Come through.
Come with
through.
that.
Oh man.
So there is something that they worked on, and I'm proud to be a representative of a product. It's not really what you call an air purifier. It's actually eliminator. It's a solution to the pollution, if you will.
Come through. Okay. Look.
So it's called the Velara Air and Surface Pro. And it's, when I say it kills, let's see, bacteria, viruses, mold, MRSA, MRSA, you name it. And guess what else it does?
What?
What have we all been in the pandemic of?
Oh my God. Okay, hold on.
I apologize. Okay, so this is my first time doing it, so I guess when phone calls come and I just have to ignore them. Yeah.
You good.
It kills COVID.
What?
Yeah. Girl. Man, I'm trying to tell you, this machine itself is nothing you have ever witnessed in your life. And I'm so excited about it because, like, the offices that want to get all their employees back, but they're doing it, limit. They have a limit. And you have the restaurants who are open to capacity still.
Yeah.
If they do this machine, nobody has to worry about a mask no more. It doesn't even matter if you have your shot, because think about it.
Right.
You could have the shot, but what are they really shooting up in you? Yeah.
Okay, that's why I ain't got it. No shade, but it's the truth. Okay, you already know.
So, that's something that I've been working on recently. I'm really excited.
Oh, well, congratulations. I definitely could see that being, a big thing in the world, because I know this COVID thing has been so scary. I live in Texas, so baby, they didn't open everything back and I still wear masks. I don't
Yeah,
care.
of
I
course.
am trying to be protective of myself and my life. So
Get, get into this product.
hmm
Swear to you, I mean, because it's not just to fill your home, because it
right.
covers 1,000 square feet, not six
Good
feet,
Lord.
but 3,000 square feet.
Girl, that's 500 times that.
Thank you. So, and then where you can travel with them.
Yeah.
You can take them to your hotel room.
Uh-huh.
They have one that you can wear around your neck. When
Oh.
this is an incredible, incredible thing. I just can't wait.
Well, I can't wait, because I'm going on a trip to the Bahamas next year and I definitely need
Oh, well,
one.
needs to get you signed up.
Well, I
Okay.
definitely gonna get signed up. I'm excited, and I'm so happy you're doing something groundbreaking for us in the world, because we need stuff like this, because everybody is such in an uproar. Even though we still are kind of going quote unquote post
Yeah.
COVID, but we still, in my personal opinion, still have some some stuff that's going on that still we're trying to overcome. So I'm just so proud that you still making groundbreaking things in the world, and just
Yeah.
being a impact for everybody and myself. And I'm just really just proud of you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, that means a lot to me. It
Oh,
does.
I love you, Miss Gloria. So yeah, so before we do get started, I want to ask you about your life and who you are, because a lot of people know you as this dope songwriter. You put your pen in so much. I wanted to ask about who you are as a person. So I want to know where you're from,
Okay.
and pretty much, and how did you get your inspiration of R&B music? And I think, are you a big Michael Jackson fan? Because girl, you love you some Michael Jackson, honey.
Uh, Guilty as charged.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I'm from San Diego, California.
Okay,
I
so
was
you're from California.
great. I actually was adopted.
Oh wow.
Actually found my birth family 2 years ago.
What?
Yeah.
Wow. Mm.
And I just returned from my birth father's funeral
Oh wow.
on night before last. He passed away.
Mm.
Uh, but I found it was the most amazing thing, because I found my whole entire family in one day
Mm.
through
Wow.
.com. It works. Plug, plug.
Facts. Hmm. It does.
I This is the most amazing thing, right? So I always knew that I wanted to be in the music industry. I knew I wanted to be in the industry, whether it was singing, writing, something,
Mm-hmm.
or media. I used to want to be a writer. Actually, I wrote
Mm.
when I was in high school.
What?
Yeah,
Wow.
book when I was in high school. It never got published, but it was
Mm-hmm.
that I wrote. It was called Love versus Dreams. Now, the ironic thing, yes, I was a big Michael Jackson fan. His number one fan, of course, not realizing how huge he really was. I just knew who he was to me and
Right.
my at the time. So, I just knew I was going to grow up and I was going to get married to him, just like probably millions of others. But at that time, it was only me. So the book was basically based on me growing up, having my then boyfriend named Michael,
Oh wow.
and having the love that I had for him,
Mm.
but got into the music business, which was all I ever wanted to do. And
Right.
then in the music business, I got to meet Michael, and we started working together.
So you
And
work with Michael Jackson?
huh?
You work with Michael Jackson?
I wish, girl.
Girl, I'm about to say, hold up.
Oh no, 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 no. No, 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 no. I wish.
Okay.
Oh God, I wish I could say I could attribute that to some of my success, but
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately, that didn't happen. Now I
Right.
have met all of them. I'd have met
Wow.
Eddie. I'd have met, I've been friends with some of them. Nieces and nephews and individuals, but unfortunately, it wasn't meant for me to meet him.
No, I'm sorry about that.
Hey, it's life, right?
Right, right.
Uh, but yeah, growing up in San Diego was very interesting,
Mm-hmm.
and the family that I had at my adopted family, they
Mm-hmm.
were very religious, if you
Mm-hmm.
will.
Yeah.
They didn't exactly fund secular music.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Um,
Understandable.
but when I was 5 years old, right, I knew what I wanted to do. I didn't know what
Wow.
was. I didn't know what pop was. I didn't know any of that. But what I did know is every song that called my spirit had baby in it. I love you, baby. I want you, baby. Right. So when I went to a Christian school, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
So at recess time, we'd be out there and I'd be on there, baby, and I sing baby songs.
Oh.
Kind of followed that through life.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, I wrote a book. I wrote what I thought were then songs,
Right.
having the hooks. I mean, I kind of knew the song structure, but without really knowing.
Right.
So that's what I did. I did that all through high school.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to kind of work my way to kind of hobnob with the people I wanted to, because, like I said, my parents that wasn't their
Into
thing.
that. Yeah.
Right. So I had, and because they were how they were very strict,
Mm-hmm.
and they didn't, they didn't facilitate anything for my success.
Right.
I kind of had to make my way to it. So what I did, like if concerts were coming to town or something like that, I knew that I had to get on the team at school and be a part of the journalism team, which was stories, right, for different occasions.
Right. Right.
I did was I told my mom, oh, I got to go meet the DJs. We got to do a story on the DJs.
And that was a good come up with that. Look, to interpret you listening to music.
So my mom was like, oh, okay, you could just go on and, interview the DJs, but come on home.
Home.
So I went, and at the time, 92 Star 5, which was the largest black station in San Diego, California, who at that time, there's a gentleman by the name of Tayati Howard, who was the largest DJ in San Diego at that time. So my goal was to meet him.
Oh,
And
wow.
another DJ that was there. And I was fortunate enough to land those interviews. So I went there, and immediately I was like, I sing and I write and I do this, that, and the other. And if you could just introduce me to so-and-so, I know I could carry it on. Like, okay. Well, the best I can do right now is give you some concert tickets.
Oh, wow.
Like,
that's your gateway in. Mm-hmm.
That was my gateway in.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what happened.
Oh,
So
wow.
I had to maneuver that, telling my mama, oh, I have to go do an interview at the concert.
Which they technically do now. Look.
What they do now, right?
Yeah.
So she was hesitant, but she was like, okay, and conjured the little neighbor next door. Because you have to understand, I was only like 14, 15 at the time.
What? You were doing fits? Girl, what?
Yeah.
Wow.
At the time, I couldn't even drive, right? But
right.
street, she had her own car. She was 16, 17. And I'm like, this is what we got to do. I need you. Okay. So she came and asked my mom, could she take me to the concert? My mom's like, oh, sure, go ahead. And I was like, yeah.
Got you in.
So I got to a couple of concerts and I met a lot of people. But this one particular concert that made the biggest difference in my life was the San Diego Super Soul Fest. It had New Edition, it had Shalimar, it had the Gap Band, it had Midnight Star, it had Rogers, it had like 12 different artists, right?
What? Wow.
Yeah. It like started at like 7 in the evening, didn't end till like 2 or 3 in the morning, right?
Girl, with all those people.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was amazing. So I made it to the show, had my little backstage passes, thanks to, and went back there and was just in awe of all these people that, I'm like, oh my God, like, hear me sing or hear me write or do something with me, help me,
Right.
So the funny thing was, Tayati, who was the DJ that got me there, he introduced me to this gentleman by the name of Michael Johnson.
Mm.
So when he took me to him, and this was after they were done, he said, I want to introduce you to this young lady. She's a singer, she writes, and she's very talented, and you need to know who she is, and da 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 da. And he was like, oh yeah, really, you sing? And I said, who are you? So I heard of Michael Jackson, but I hadn't heard of Michael Johnson, right?
Right.
Or at least I didn't. And so I was like, oh, okay. And so I ended up singing, and he was like, oh, wow, you really can sing. And I was like, yes, I can. And who are you again? Right? He's like, my name is Michael Johnson, and I'm with the Johnson crew.
Mm.
Okay. And he was like, I have a song called Space Cowboy. Oh, my God.
Girl, I forgot. Oh, girl, I remember that song when I was little.
Yeah. You do Space Cowboy? And he was like, yeah, that's my record. And I was like, wow. Oh, I'm happy, right? Mm-hmm. Like, that's who you are. And then he told me some of his other hits, and I was like, okay, yeah. And then he told me he and his brother, who was Maurice Starr, had done New Edition. So I was like, oh, wow. So he took me over to Maurice, and he introduced me to Maurice. And Maurice was kind of standoffish.
Standoffish.
Like, he was like, yeah, get her information. Yeah. You know, he had other things going on. So, and that was cool, right? So I ended up keeping in touch with Michael, like, because he was like, look, you got to graduate. I'm going to bring you to Boston. I'm going to work with you, and we're going to make things happen for you. And I'm like, yes, my dreams have come true. Exactly. Because, again, my parents were a little bit different, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when you have religious parents, it is very, very tough. I know how that is. Yeah.
Yeah, they don't play. So he called my mom and dad, and he was telling them, oh, I met your daughter. She's really talented. I feel that, and he's telling them who they've done and what they've done. Right. And they ain't that, because first of all, they don't even know who they're talking about, because they didn't listen to secular music.
Right.
Like, that means nothing to us. We don't know you from a can of paint, and we're not flying to Boston, right? Yeah. If this wants to do, she can wait till she's 18 and she can go do it. Girl, I was counting down.
So you was waiting till you turned 18. You was like,
girl,
15, 16, what? 17, 18.
Yeah. Girl, the day came.
Oh.
And I didn't get along with my mom per se. And I'd explained to him, but he was kind of not hearing me. He thought I was just being the rebellious child. And probably on a little bit I was,
Right.
But I was like, look, I'm about to come. Like,
you were onto something. Yep.
You can't tell me I can't come now, because I'm 8 years old. And that's what I did. I took a Greyhound to Boston, from California. And so a few months later, that's actually when my musical career started, was with him. Wow. So part of the Johnson crew. And his next album that he worked on, I wrote and I was a part of. And that album did okay. Didn't have the success his first album had, but it was cool. He had me writing for the Peter Wolf from Jay Giles Band. So I was working with him. I went out on the road with Bruce Springsteen.
Oh my God, Bruce Springsteen. Oh, hold up. Oh no, you good.
So I went out on the road with Bruce Springsteen.
Wow.
That was cool, because he worked with Clarence Clemens, the sax player that used to be with him. That he's on now. So went on the road with them. I mean, there were so many things I was exposed to. I made my first Jackson's concert with him.
What?
Yeah, my very first Jackson's. After being a fan of theirs all those years and never got to a show, I finally got to be 18, and I was with Michael, and we went to Washington, D.C., and it was the Jacksons. And that weekend, George Clinton was performing with Thomas Dolby. And I met George Clinton.
Wow.
And So remember the book that I told you I wrote in high school?
Mm-hmm.
The boyfriend named Michael.
Yes.
So I had promised him, because he was a great P-Funk fan. He was just, that was his thing. I said, well, when I grow up and I get rich and famous and I'm a big star and da da da, I'm gonna introduce you to him.
Oh.
Do it. I didn't have all that other accolades, but I did. George Clinton right there, right? Now this,
Okay, look, he was huge at that time. Oh my
yeah,
God.
Atomic Dog, really?
Girl, the Omegas, they use that all the time. They made George Clinton accused. So you already know how that went. Child.
So
Huge.
um I ended up, now we didn't have obviously cell phones, beepers, we had none
Right.
of that, right? We had collect calls.
Mm.
I said, his mom's probably gonna be mad, but he'll be happy. So I made a collect call to him and I hooked him up and I was like, here, say hi to Michael. And that went on. And so that's pretty much how music started for me, as far as what I was able to do and who I was able to work with during that period.
Right.
There was a soundtrack that I was a part of as I was trying to start my actual musical career as being an artist. If you,
Right.
there was a movie called Two Moon Junction,
Okay.
or Christy McNichol and a few other celebrities, and I was a big fan of Christy McNichol.
Mm.
But we ended up doing a song called Trance.
Mm.
So a bite off of these boots, you know,
Mm.
they're made for walking.
Oh, yo, that's was what they do.
Right. So trance was in that flavor. They didn't want to use boots, but they wanted something similar.
Mm.
So I wrote this song called Trance, in which ended up being in the movie. And I was so ecstatic because I
Oh.
perform it, co-write it, and, the whole night. And I'm like,
Right.
"Hey, I've got something."
So you already in feature film, boom, out the gate.
Right.
That's huge.
Yeah, so that's how that whole thing started.
Mm-hmm.
As time progressed, and I ended up moving away from Boston, and that marriage kind of dissolved. I
Yeah.
went to Los Angeles,
Mm-hmm.
and um, it's just one thing after another as far as the people in the industry that I was able to meet, connect with,
Mm-hmm.
and everything just kind of snowballed after that.
Wow, that is so deep. So, and I'm getting a timeline. What I'm noticing is in the '80s, you really were trying to like you were moving, maneuvering your way as your teenage years to become this writer that you always been. Because that's really amazing to me because you really started off in school, writing and doing books, which is so dope. Because you don't hear a lot of kids at that time not being so in depth with writing like you were. And then
Yeah.
at this time, you can meet George Clinton. At the time, he was huge, a Pink Funk era. So you were really in that era trying making your way, which was really great. And then doing that, you transition to film and then having your pen game going on to a movie. Now you
Yeah.
start off in the '90s and now you're transitioning to bigger, bigger, bigger
Yeah.
things. So I'm noticing at this time you got, I don't know if you at that time, did you started working with Shantae more on her second album? Because I know you did Old School Lovin'.
Yes. So
Mm-hmm.
it ended up happening again. I linked up with a gentleman by the name of Laney Stewart,
Mm-hmm.
and we got together. And through that union, not only
Yeah.
do we produce beautiful children together,
Oh.
he was a producer who was working on my then best friend and today my best friend's sister, also partner, Sue Ann Carwell.
Oh, y'all so dope with the pens and vote, man. Oh,
She's the best, man. She's
yes.
I will always say, Sue Ann can sing ABC and make you cry.
Come on.
Right. So, and okay, so let's take it back just a hair.
Mm-hmm.
When we did, there was a song out called Company
Mm-hmm.
that I absolutely just like this song just touched my soul, right?
Right.
So moving 6, 7 years later, after the marriage and after the first one thing and another, and I left Boston and went to Los Angeles. My friends that I had connected with through that last situation
Mm-hmm.
put me in touch with some other people, but they also were producers and writers as well. So they were working on her album. So they were like, well, why don't you come over to the studio? We're working on this girl named Sue Ann Carwell's album, blah, 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 blah. We got over there, and I'm like, oh my God, like these vocals, like who is this girl? Like, oh, she and I instantly clicked. It was just something in our chemistry that just drew us together. And immediately, like, it was almost like a relationship. It was a relationship. Because the minute we became friends, it where you saw her, you saw me. Where you saw me, you saw her. It was just, we never let each other go. It wasn't until maybe a year after we had become like the best of friends did I find out she was the one that sang that record that meant so much to me when I was a young girl.
What?
Yeah.
All connections.
You're the one who sang that song. The fan thing comes out. Like,
right.
My God, my best. I'm the biggest fan. And I've been her fan ever since.
Connections.
Connections. And so with Lainey, though, he worked on her album. She introduced me to him. She's the one who actually introduced me to him.
Okay.
And at the time, he was working on Karen White, working on Sue Ann. There were some other projects that he had going on. And when we met and we linked up, and it was just like, he was like, okay, you know, you're a strong writer. I can help make you better. And I, at the time, was still trying to be an artist. But I was slowly learning the fact that that wasn't where the lane I was supposed to be in. Various, you know, avenues and various people I was speaking with and things. It just wasn't, you know, because at that time, you pretty much had to know how to sing.
Okay, because you let these people know about the 90s.
I knew how to sing, but I wasn't a singer. So that's kind of what kind of held me back.
Yeah.
It just wasn't in the cards for me to be that person.
Right.
And that was fine with me. So through Lainey, there were projects that were coming his way, such as Shantae Moore. And he would give me tracks, and I'd go and I'd write to them. Old School Lovin', I will never forget the day that I wrote that song. I was actually in my bedroom. We were separated at the time. We were separated, and I was in my room, and I was looking at the wall, and I was listening to the music, and the music that spoke to me. And the word, you know how you have some songs that they just kind of write themselves. Yeah, this was one of those songs that really just wrote itself. I at the clock, and I was thinking about it. Felt old school. The track felt old school, and I was like, as the clock strikes 12, oh, I see your eyes are saying, you know. So I was going, girl, let's take it back to the way it was, and it just flowed. It just flowed, and I just wrote. And it just,
and everybody wants Old School Lovin', huh?
Everybody wants those. I want the flowers. I want the cards. I want you to knock at my door, and I want you to open one for me.
Yeah.
You know, so, and that's where that song kind of came from.
Wow.
So, and I was very, very proud of that song because it was, I mean, it was just one of those perfect tunes to me. From the track to the lyric to the melody, everything was just perfect in that record. And that song, and at the time, now mind you, I'm still trying to do my writing thing and trying to figure out my footing on who I am. I was working for the Whispers manager. His name is Michael Gardner. And Nicholas Caldwell had an office. Nicholas is the one that is no longer with us now. He passed 7 years ago.
Oh, I'm so sorry about that.
Really kind of the matriarch of that group, if you will. And he worked out of their office. And so I was constantly with them, and, you know, I'm working and doing whatever. And so we got the Shantae record done. And then we did a song called Come On Home.
Mm-hmm.
And like, okay, where can I place this song? I had a publishing deal, but I'm like, well, they don't do nothing for you. You know, they might give you some upfront money, but they don't do nothing for you. They don't really go out there and hustle up hits.
Right.
I'm a hustler. I'm a go-getter.
Come on.
I'm people that I'm going to be in the studio with whoever's doing whatever, and I'm going to try to get an "and" in or a in, and I'm going to sing this right here and put that word in and let you know you need me.
You better
Okay?
preach. Okay. Look.
So I went to Nicholas and I said, hey, I have this song and I think you guys would do really, really well on it.
Mm.
So, and that's where I started kind of learning how the game worked when it came to business.
Come on. Yeah.
And artists and how you get things placed outside
Mm.
the company. So I presented it to Nick, and he listened to it, and he loved the record. He was like, let me get with the fellas, and let me see what they think. Let me see what they say. And who's the producer? And I said, oh, my husband, Laney. And he was like, okay. Well, yeah, we'll get with you. So they got with Laney, and the next thing I knew, sometimes you got to give to get.
Yeah.
So we gave, and we got the cut.
Mm.
So that worked out really well. So
Wow. That was huge. The Whispers iconic group.
they were very iconic because
Ooh.
that I grew up on, you know, Beat
Rock
Goes
steady.
Rock Steady.
Mm.
What's the one with da 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 da.
Mm. Mm.
Love that record. But anyway, so yeah, I grew up on them. So of course, who's gonna say no to them? So now I got a record on, the Whispers.
Wow.
I felt incredible.
Wow.
So through that, Lainey was working with Keith Washington.
Mm-hmm.
Keith and I became friends, and we had worked on some things together, none of which actually manifested to be able to be singles or come out, but we developed a really strong relationship. But prior to all of this, I did want to bring George back in the loop,
Mm-hmm.
because prior to meeting Lainey, there was a studio that I used to frequent. That was over there on Magnolia in North Hollywood, right off of Lancashire. And they would let me come in there. There was a gentleman that kind of ran the studio, if you will. His name is Stewart. He's no longer with us now.
Mm.
But in the studio, and he would let me come in there and he'd let me do my ideas. Girl, I would be in the studio literally from when I got off of work at 4:30 in the afternoon. I'd get over to the studio between 5 and 5:30, and I would not leave the studio till 6 o'clock in the morning, run home, get dressed real quick to be back at work by 8.
Girl,
And
you
this
was dedicated.
was
What?
daily thing. Like something's gonna crack. Something's
Mm.
gonna. So yeah. So that happened. Yeah, so that's pretty much how things happen. I had to hustle. I had to
Yeah.
make it myself.
Yeah. And we don't, I know a lot of people don't talk about the behind the scenes that goes on because, like, you really have the grind in this industry to kind of make yourself known. And, I know for you, Miss Gloria, you and your ex-husband, you at the time, y'all were really, making your mark in the industry and really pretty much trying to put yourself in place, especially yourself. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
then you worked in '96 on Jesse Powell's album, on his first album. Oh, I just love Jesse Powell. He's another one that I
Yeah.
respect. Oh,
Oh, Jesse. Yes.
yes.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I almost
Yeah.
forgot about
Yeah. Jesse was a Jesse. And you know what's crazy? I didn't realize about Jesse until I would say 99 to 98 when he made the U song. That's when I learned about who he was. So
Yeah.
when I learned about his artistry, I was like, wow, he been out since 96. So I thought it was just really dope that, you worked with him at a time before he became who he was.
Yeah.
So it's just dope.
That,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
um that was a nice record. There were a few records
Mm-hmm.
uh, that I worked on. Some of them that some of them I don't even remember until
Oh, wow.
I get a royalty and I go, dang, did I? Oh yeah, I guess I did. I'm getting
Yeah.
paid for it, right?
Yeah. And I just
Like,
think it's amazing because even though, like I said, you may not remember, I think people still remember who you are, especially the legacy you have impacted. It's just really amazing. So I guess we're at a time right now, you're in 96, you're working with Justice. So now we're on the Toni Braxton
yeah,
iconic album, Secrets. Oh my God. Secrets. Wow.
yeah,
That today is
oh,
25 years old. So I
yeah.
wanted to ask you, how did you get introduced to Toni Braxton, and like, how did you get introduced to the LaFace era at the time when you were working?
All right, getting to it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so what happened was,
Mm-hmm.
I had known Kenny, Babyface, a few years prior to,
Mm-hmm.
and then I got a publishing deal, and right after I signed my publishing deal, we were out somewhere, and a gentleman approached me, and he was like, "Hey, how are you?" And da 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 da. And I heard you did blah blah blah. And woo, woo, woo. Yes, yes, thank you. Oh, my sister, her name is Tracy. Okay, so I Edmonds. No relation that I understood of at that time. This was Babyface's wife.
What? Tracy Edmonds. Wow. Mm.
So I was like, oh, wow. And I was like, she's absolutely gorgeous. Like, oh, this is nice. This is a nice meeting. Okay, so what are we going to do with this? And so he was like, how, he's introduced me. She's like, and I guess she kind of was feeling like, so what are we going to do with this? Because I had already told him I just signed a publishing deal because he was actually trying to corral me to sign to Yabium, which was
Oh.
that was their management company.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm kind of like, you're about 2 days too late. I just signed. So then he was like, okay, well, if we can't sign you as a publisher, maybe we can manage you. And I'm like, okay, what could it hurt? So that's how that relationship began. Uh, Hold on 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so ended up being a part of the Yabium umbrella.
Mm-hmm.
Again, Kenny and I had known each other for a few years prior to that. We kind of met through different avenues.
Yeah.
But we weren't friends, if you will. Uh, it was just he knew who I was, I knew who he was. And when I became a part of the Yabium roster, and he had started hearing some of the things that I did. Now, mind you, even though he very much supported his wife and what she did,
Right.
and did everything that he could to help catapult their company, he still had his own thing with LA.
Mm.
They were doing their thing. They're getting their publishing deals off the ground, first one thing and another. So one day, Kenny actually had a meeting with me and he was like, I would like to sign you to my publishing company. And this is when he and LA had first, and I was like, and of course, heart be still. Jesus, this could be such an opportunity. I messed up because I've already signed over here.
Wow. Mm.
He offered to buy my publishing from my publishing company.
Oh, wow.
But of course, they didn't want to let me go because
I figured that.
I guess in their mindset, if somebody like he wants to buy my publishing, I'm worth,
She's.
yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
they made that price exorbitant to the point where they're like, we're not going to let her go. And Kenny,
Wow.
because I love you as much as I appreciate your work, I just can't pay that kind of dollar.
Right.
I understood. So I was like, okay. So I then at that point, again, I was with Laney. So I turned him on to my husband. And I was like, look, man, you may not know who he is, but I'm gonna tell you this bad boy right here, you wanna sign him?
Okay.
You know? So I got him up under his umbrella. So, but being with Yabium, that brought about a lot of different things. There was a song that my ex-husband and I wrote that Clive Davis wanted from Monica really bad, extremely bad. It was.
What?
It's called XU. XU.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, all the things that a guy has done. Now,
Right.
the song was cold blooded too. But unfortunately, Yabium had an artist at the time that they thought they were going to be able to really truly blow up and
Yeah.
make into something. And they basically told Clive Davis, "Kick rocks. We own the song. That's our song. That's our people's song. And we have an artist. We're going to put the." I was so angry. I'm so
I
mad.
know you was. Mm.
Needless to say, you never heard X.
See, and that's what things happen. That the business, like you're talking about the business, and when the business gets involved, it's hard to get through. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what ended up happening. But it did bring about some really good relationships. So there's a producer writer by the name of John Robinson, John.
Okay.
So he and I started working together. Henceforth, the Have Plenty soundtrack, uh,
Mm-hmm.
John B.
John B and Coco and Jay-Z. Would you work with Jay-Z?
Which
Woo.
I didn't even know who Jay-Z was because this is before Jay-Z blew
Was
up.
okay. Yeah.
Look, let me tell you how I found out who he was. So we did the song. We went to the studio and Jay-Z was going to do his part. And, we all went there because we was like, well, who is this person? We want to see what he got, like closed session, right? And I'm like, hey,
Mm.
we can't be in on our own. But okay, if we can't, all right. So, and I listened to what he did and I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. So when it came time to do the credits, and then I saw my name, I saw John B, I saw Silky, and then I saw Sean Carter. Who the hell is Sean Carter? I said, get Sean Carter right on this. Michael, who was my then manager,
Yeah.
he goes, that's Jay-Z. And I went, oh,
Oh.
oh, okay, I guess.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it be like that sometimes. It does.
But worth Have Plenty
Yeah.
and Keep It Real was birthed.
I love Keep It Real. It's
Yeah.
dope.
And it did okay. It did okay. It actually did really well.
Mm.
So that song came. Then John and I did another song on this girl named Mona Lisa. We were actually shooting for TLC.
What? Girl, you
Yeah,
was in your bag. Jesus, look.
we were shooting for TLC, and it was a song called Peach.
Mm-hmm.
So John kind of made it of the feel of a TLC record.
Mm-hmm.
But then this girl named Mona Lisa came and kind of swiped that through.
Mm.
Got that one, and it was like, okay, all right. And you could actually find that one on YouTube. It was a dope record, but I think
Wow.
that actually came out overseas.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But it came out, and every now and then on a royalty check, I'll see it, and I'm going, okay. And finally, but not least, but certainly not least, Casey and JoJo came about.
Oh.
And so, and I'll tell you a cute little story about this record. So the first record that we did with Casey and JoJo was How Could You, right?
Oh God, girl. And that was on the Bulletproof soundtrack.
Yes, it was on the book.
Mm-hmm.
So, but when we wrote the song, that soundtrack probably was in the making, but
Mm-hmm.
we didn't know about it at the time.
Yeah.
So John, he did the track, and he, myself, and this gentleman by the name of Joey Elias were in the studio,
Mm-hmm.
and we started putting the song together. And Joey, though he was a fantabulous, and I say fantabulous vocalist, John decided to write or sing the demo.
Mm-hmm.
But he sounded really country on it. I mean, when I
Mm.
say girl, he sounded like he could have been from Texas.
And that's where I live at. And I know how they sound. I know how they sound.
Which cows though, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He sounded that kind of country.
Mm-hmm.
It was so cute. Now my daughter at the time, my daughter was 4 or 5,
Mm-hmm.
because she was about to go into kindergarten. So she was 4 or 5.
Mm-hmm.
And she was listening to the song and she just started crying. And I'm like, baby,
Mm.
she was listening to the lyrics, but she was also listening to how he was singing it. And my daughter's crying. She goes, why did she do that to him, mommy?
Oh,
Why
wow.
do that to him? He needs me. He needs me.
So did your daughter like interpret? She understood what they were saying in the lyric?
Sitting
What? Mm.
what was being said in the song, and I was like, wow, like
Talent.
she got that. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? So how it ended up initially getting to Casey and JoJo, I think that I believe that John made that happen. I
Okay.
didn't make it. John made it happen. But how I got on the other 2 tracks,
Mm-hmm.
what I essentially had to do is I have a engineer friend by the name of Jean-Marie Horvitz.
Mm-hmm.
He was mixing the record, and
Mm-hmm.
so he out to me. He said, hey, I'm mixing the song that you wrote on Casey and JoJo. Come to the studio. So I was like, okay, I'm on my way. So I rushed over there, and I'm like, I need to get on some more of their songs. I need to get on. He said, well, they're going to be here. Why don't you just stick around and talk to them?
Yeah.
I just got through telling you, I didn't let nothing come to me. I had to go get it.
Yeah.
So that's what I did. I
Yeah.
stayed at the studio. When Casey and JoJo came in the room, they were listening to the mix. I introduced myself. I'm a co-writer on this song. Hey, what y'all doing? Y'all working on anything else? We actually working on our first album. Oh, really? Y'all need me as a
Wow.
album. I
So
got
you
some tracks.
so you
Yeah.
got them post Jodeci.
No, not Jodeci.
No,
Casey.
post Jodeci. Post Jodeci.
Oh, yeah. Very post Jodeci, because it was
Wow.
their first
Mm-hmm.
album. And so I told him, I was like, you need me on your record.
Yeah.
I need to write some stuff, and I got some great tracks that you guys need to hear.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how that happened, because they were like,
Yeah.
okay, what's up? You know, what's your number? And let's do this. And da-da-da-da. And next thing you know, me and KC, we was in there. And the funny thing was, like, the first time I went, uh, I guess it was about 2, 3 days later, he gave me the number and he was like, well, give me a call. We're going to hook up. We're going to hook up. I was like, okay. So I called and I didn't get no answer. And then he finally called and he was like, yeah, we'll be over at the house at 12 o'clock tomorrow. I was like, okay. I was there at 11:45, like I was on it. And I got there and I didn't get an answer, but I wasn't leaving.
Right.
And to beat on that door. You're going to
Mm-hmm.
work with me because this is my second day and you're going to work with me.
Right. You were consistent.
And, yeah. And so he ended up opening the door, and he and I wrote both those records that day. We wrote Just for Your Love and Last Night, back to back. We wrote Just for Your,
Wow.
and we wrote Last Night's Letter second.
Mm. And that became the second single. Wow,
Yeah.
that's just that was dope. But we're gonna backtrack. We're gonna talk about I Love Me Some Him. So with that, how did you get on there with Soul Shock and also with Andrea Martin? Because I mean, y'all pens are just lethal. Like that's just crazy.
It is incredible. Andrea is the truth. Oh, I had been working with Soul Shock and Carlin on some other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We had a record. I forgot the name of the girl's group right now. But we had they had already been working with Andrea on some
Yeah.
things. And in passing from my my session to
Mm-hmm.
then Andrea, she and I met.
Okay.
We're just a few days apart. So
Wow.
it was like a click fest. It was like
Yeah.
it is like, girl, we gonna work. And again, I'm not one of those people that's gonna let you get away from me. If you tell me you're gonna do something, you're gonna do it.
Right.
So I stayed on her. And it wasn't really hard to stay on her because she's very open, she's very loving, she's very giving, we developed our friendship. Our friendship definitely came first. And so she would call me every time she was in town, and she'd always try to, hey, I want you to come get down on this. I want you to come get down on that. So one weekend she was in town, and she was like, I'm here working with Soul Shock and Carla. And I was working with them, but I don't know. They had this way of trying to separate, have me over here and have her over there. And, but she
Right.
that happened. So we went to her hotel room, and I actually stayed at her room with her so we could work. And because she was working on several different projects. And so she said, she was like, she's like, girl, we got to come up with something for Toni Braxton. They're saying she needs a song for her album, but I don't know what to come up with. And I said, you? Yeah, you do. And she was like, no, I don't. No, I don't. We got to come up with something. So we threw, things back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So through a basic conversation that she and I were having, I was telling her some of the things I was going through in my situation. She was telling me about this guy that she really liked and her situation. And so she was in the shower, and I was out in the room, and I was watching TV, and I'm just kind of thinking and trying to come up with something. And then she's telling me about this guy. And then she goes, girl, I love me some him. And I said, that's it. That's it. And she looks out, she goes, what's wrong? I said, no, that's it. She said, I said, I love me some him. She said, what are you talking about? I said, that's the song for Toni Braxton. I love me some him. And she goes, girl, no. I said, no, yes.
Wow.
That's the record for Toni Braxton. I love me some him. And she said, really? She said, hold on, girl. So she took a shower. And she comes out and she's going, you think that's the record? And I said, no, I know that's the record.
Wow.
So she says, I love me some him.
Girl, that's my jam, girl. Oh my God.
I'll never love this way again. She said, I love me some you. I said, another man would never do.
Girl, bodied it.
So she called Carlin, because Soul Shock wasn't there that night. So she called,
so Kenny.
And she was like, we got the record. We need to come and record. So about 3 hours later, we were in the studio. She laid the vocals down for the hook, because that's what we had was the hook. She started doing the melody, and I started writing lyrics. And so I gave it to her, and she tweak and sing. I'd write some more. She'd tweak and sing. Write some more, tweak and sing. We were done with the song in about an hour.
An hour? Girl, what?
Yeah. So
that's crazy.
We felt good about the song. And the next thing you know, about a week later, got a phone call. We got a cut on Toni Braxton called I Love Me Some Him.
Wow, that is so dope. People, man, and that's crazy. All of over a conversation. Wow, I would have never thought that. That is huge. And I wanted to tell you too, Miss Stewart, that this song is a big record. To say it didn't have a video, this song has gravitated to so many people. I mean, in 2017 at the time when this album Secrets made 21 years, they did a top 25 best Toni Braxton songs of all time. They ranked I Love Me Some Him number 6. And yes, they rated number 6. Yes, ma'am. And I want to read this quote to you to let you know that it was just a big record for her at the time. They said, if R&B radio is unanimously consistent with playing one Toni Braxton single since its release, I Love Me Some Him would hold that title for sure.
I didn't know that.
Billboard said that about y'all. Yes, about this song. Oh, Miss Gloria, don't cry. Oh, Miss Gloria, don't cry. Oh my God, you gonna make me cry. Oh, Miss Gloria, yeah, that means, oh gosh, she gonna have y'all. We on the line. Look, this is real. This is nothing fake. I give it to her honest because I feel like for this song to be so big on the right. Oh, Miss Gloria, don't cry. Y'all see, look. I'm sorry. Look, she gonna be at me crying. I'm crying. Look. Oh, look. Yes, y'all. I have to keep it. One thing about me on my show, I have to keep it honest. And when it comes to stuff like this, you have to be honest about everything that you do, especially with songs that's so gravitating. And the reason why I wanted to tell Miss Gloria this is because when you make a song that has an impact and has gravitated to so many people, it goes to show you that your legacy is huge and it impacts everything. But I wanted you to know that too, Ms. Gore, because for Billboard to say that about the top 25 songs of her catalog, it goes to show you impacted people, especially myself, you know?
I didn't know that.
Oh my God. Ms. Gore, you're going to have me crying. But I have to keep it honest because when I see stuff like that, I have to let my people know that when you do stuff like that and for Billboard to say what they said, it goes to show you at the end of the day is you mean something to us in the culture. Oh. And you was right number 6, okay? Look. Oh.
Thank you.
Anytime. You know, girl, I got to keep 100 on my show, baby. I don't play no games. Because when I say I love me some him is the truth, when me and my girl, shout out to her, Shantae Dunbar, you know, dissect the song, we were just talking about how it was just so gravitating, how in high school she dedicated that to her ex-boyfriend at the time, her high school sweetheart. So when you think about stuff like that and me getting hit with that song when I was a teenager, I didn't have, at the time I wasn't dating, but it goes to show you that you meant something to us in the culture, you know? I mean, and the song was huge, girl. I mean, girl, Toni, y'all got Toni Braxton into the stratosphere. I mean, that album went 92 weeks on the chart. It peaked at number 2 on the Hot 100. And when you hit Hot 100 on number 2, that means every genre is hitting that. So, and for that album to be 8 times platinum and to sell 15 million worldwide, it goes to show you at the end of the day is you did something for her, you know? And that's everybody's favorite song, her love song at that.
Yeah, truth be told, it actually went 10 million.
Oh. Girl, hold up. Look, hold on. Let me know. Check them. Hold on. Check them numbers. Because like I said, you know, I see things on other research, but you know, them numbers get bigger and bigger. You know, everything don't be accurate. Come on, Diamond. Diamond.
Yeah, 10 million. I don't know how much it was, right, but I know it went 10 million.
Wow. Diamond status. And I had a feeling this album went diamond because for it to be so close to that, I'm like, I know this album has sold so much. And for this album at the time to be so huge for her, like, she became the artist of the decade because of Unbreak My Heart. And so, yeah. And for that alone right there, I was just like, wow, Toni really was huge. And I know at the time she was going through so much personal stuff. And I was like, Lord, you know, her having a successful album and then her dealing with her personal issues, I know was a deep time at that time. But, you know, at the end of the day, what I learned from Toni is she's a survivor. And she's
definitely.
Okay.
And still. And still. She's still doing magnificent things.
Yeah.
And I would still love an opportunity to possibly get back on her. I wrote, prior to her record, I actually did Tamar Braxton.
You, what?
Yeah.
Girl, I love me some Tamar. Look.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Little Mo, before Little Mo broke out, Little Mo and I wrote a song to my Lainey Stewart's track, and it was called Reap What You Sow.
What? Come on.
Yeah. So
you was writing some hits, honey, hitting that soul. Come on.
So, and that was prior to Toni. So it was like, hey, to have that on Toni was like, wow.
Yeah. But I definitely had to let you know too, especially for Billboard to say that about I Love Me and Him. That meant a lot because, you know, for Billboard even ranking number 6 out of 25 of her greatest hits, that's huge, you know?
To me, baby girl.
Ma'am?
You're going to have to send that to me.
Oh, you know I'm going to send that to you. I'm going to send it to you and let you know. I got the article and everything, baby. You know I don't play no games. I'm going to send it to you, make sure that these people know that I Love Me Some Him is that record. And that, you know, for it to be so timeless, I wanted that to make sure that you knew that because for articles to write about I Love Me Some Him and people even talked about it, I mean, it is beautiful because it meant something to the culture. And I wish it would have had a video. Like, I just hated it. I know you were you heard when they didn't have a video for it?
Well, so they made us think that we were about to do a video. So we were supposed to have a single, right?
Right.
If I'm not mistaken, it was supposed to be the second single, and everybody rushing around, and oh, they're about to do the video, and we're all excited, like, oh my God, I can't wait to go to the set. I can't wait to see what they come up with.
Man.
And then I think a week prior to them getting everything together, then R. Kelly knocked us out the box. And he's like, and I don't think did his single. I don't even think he had a video out of his single.
He did. It did.
I don't
want to. Child, exactly. That's why all of us go next. We go to I Love Me Some Him. We go next because don't get me wrong. And I'm regardless of who he, whatever the person and stuff. Yeah, he's one of the greats. But my thing about it is, I feel like I Love Me Some Him. I Love Me Some Him should have been a single. Should have been a single for a video. We needed a video because she had Unbreak My Heart. That was a heartbreak song. Everybody loved that. Yes. But we wanted her with a blood ballad. And I know for Toni, I remember she was saying at the time, she didn't like Unbreak My Heart. She didn't, she didn't want to do another heartbreak song. And I think if she would have did I Love Me Some Him for us, it'd have been so dope because we used to her with the heartbreak songs, but a love ballad, this was beautiful. Like I hear it on the radio all the time. They play it all the time in the South. Like it dominated air. Like it goes to show you that at the end of the day, is like she really was in her own lane. And like for this album to do what it did, sell 20 million records. Toni is everything, okay? Period, point blank.
Yeah, she is. She is.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Yeah, she is definitely for sure. So I wanted to ask you, how did you feel when the album became so successful and everything like that?
Well, obviously it was surreal because they were playing the record everywhere, and it was, even though I had records, nothing played on the record like that, or the radio like that. And it felt good. I mean, I was in the space where I just wanted more. I wanted there were artists and producers that I sought to work with, not work with. I mean, I wanted to work with Joe, because I'm still, I don't know if you've ever heard Joe's very first album.
Girl, we talk about that album all the time. People sleep on Joe. See?
Girl, no, the very first album, not the one after he came back. Circle. I'm talking about his first album. Every song on that record was a hit except for one song, and that was the last song on the record. I still listen to it in the car today.
Wow.
So I wanted to work with him. I wanted to work with Burt Bacharach. Hell, I wanted to work and still wouldn't mind working if he's still working. I'm a big fan of a lot of people. I mean, unfortunately, Carpenter is no longer with us, but I'm a Barry Manilow fan.
I know.
Neil Sedaka. I mean, these are people, Michael Johnson, Journey, Kiss. I mean, these are people that I grew up listening to.
Yeah, I mean, a huge. And then, like I said, like you already had said earlier about Casey and JoJo, the way you wrote for them, and not even that, Last Night Letter was their second single, but from that alone right there, like you set them in the lane to be where they were at too. Like when All My Life came out, girl, I know you was just shocked. I know you was like, what in the world? This album is gonna do numbers.
Yeah, I did. And actually the funny thing was they wanted to put Last Night's Letter out first, but there was another record that I thought was better that I thought should have went before first, right? And then they ended up with All My Life, and I was like, hey, there we go. Hey. We're good now. We're good. Hey, on the roll. And they actually did a video for it. And it was a nice video. Those were nice times. They were nice times. I miss them a lot.
Yeah.
I miss the whole life of it. I miss the whole of it.
Yeah.
Everything has its time. Everything has a season. And you have to reinvent yourself, and you have to do other things. And that's where I'm at right now. And much both. I actually co-host a show, on Clubhouse.
Love it.
We did the exact same thing that you're doing. Is we're bringing the artist, we're bringing the music of our era, our time, the real music, things that actually speak to people and the
Yeah.
things that they need to hear. The younger generation doesn't understand.
Come on.
Some because their parents have ensured that they do. But then you have those that just don't. They don't have a clue. They'll listen to a rap record that has sampled a record from, and they think that they created the record.
Child bye.
So there's things and there's artists and there's things that need to be said. There's artists that still need to be heard, and there's
Amen.
things that need to be acknowledged.
Come.
Doing the exact same thing. We're just doing it through another audio platform.
Mm-hmm.
Bringing these artists to the stage, and we're going through their bags, and we're playing, and we're talking about their journeys. We're talking about what got them. How'd you get into the music business? What got you in this? What was your journey? How did you get to where you are today?
That's
What
right.
do you want to tell this audience today about what they have to look forward to? Because even though the music business has changed per se, it ain't changed.
Come on.
It ain't changed.
Tell these folks that
Everything is still the same as it was. It's probably even nastier and dirtier.
Yeah.
So, that's where I'm at right now. I'm just like you. I want to bring everybody to the forefront. I think that didn't get their unsung, didn't get their notoriety, didn't get what was due them. We're doing our best well to bring them up and let it be known. Look, if it wasn't for them, there would be no you.
That's deep. Girl, what's going on? And that's why I had to honor you, because for you to do what you did for Toni, you and Andrea and Soul Shop for that song to do what it did, it really has touched so many people in so many ways. And that's why I'm so proud, and that's why I do my platform as well, to honor, album songwriters and producers, because like I said, I used to think, and I love Gordon Chambers. Gordon Chambers is a guy that I really love. Yes. He was the first artist singer-songwriter I had on my platform to even open the door for me to actually become from what I come from. And he made me understand it's the people behind the scenes that make impacts too. And I was like, wow, he's right.
Right.
He's right. He's right. And so that's why I'm just so proud of you. And I wanted to ask you another question. What do you think the key is to making a hit record? And what is your favorite hit from your catalog?
Wow. The key to making a hit record, that's kind of, well, from that particular time standpoint. Obviously, a hit is a hit is a hit is a hit, which has a strong hook, something that's memorable about the song. Obviously, you want something that's going to ring over and over in somebody's head.
Come
on. If you've got your strong hook, a hook is everything, really.
Oh,
Has some subpar lyrics for the verses, but if that hook is there, that's a hit song to me.
Come on.
So you could have the lyrics, and I mean it all plays together. But sometimes you could have a subpar track, but if you can write the right melody and you write the lyrics, the correct lyrics, and on top of that, and that hella hook, you can have a hit. It's a lot of different things that causes a hit.
Right.
And some records that maybe they have 1 out of 3, or they have 2 out of 3, or maybe they don't have none out of 3, but they've got timing, they got the right people behind them, and got the right money behind them, because it still takes money to break a record.
Yeah.
It still takes radio to break a record. So because there's been plenty of songs that I didn't necessarily like when I first heard them, and didn't like for probably about 6 months, and probably changed the station, but then I changed the station and it was still there, and then I changed the station, it was still there, to the point where I had to sit there and listen to it, and to the point okay. Then 6 months later was my favorite song.
Mm.
So
Yep.
it's a lot of things that can go into a hit. It's not one, two, or three particular things. It's a little bit of everything.
That's deep. And do you have a favorite song from your catalog? Which one that you love the most, or do you have a favorite hit?
Obviously, I love me some him because it pays me the most. But
Oh,
anyway.
oh, let these people know, because like I said, we know you got the flags in the back. I know the flags in the back somewhere. Okay, look.
But one of my
Yeah.
favorite records that I actually wrote
Mm-hmm.
um, is the one that I did for Phil Perry,
Mm.
and it's called Pretty Lady.
Mm.
I think that lyrically, oh, that one and another one I did for Patty Austin.
Oh,
But,
you over Patty Austin, girl? Girl, you got some heavy hitters. Okay.
but Pretty Lady by Phil Perry, the lyrics, I wrote it by sitting at a pool. I was, again, it was
Yeah.
one of the musicians I was working with and for the Whispers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I had just done Come On Home for the Whispers.
Yeah.
Phil Perry was also managed by their manager.
Yeah.
And so I was working with one of the producer writers,
Mm-hmm.
and I went over his house, and he had this nice big golden pool. When I say
Mm-hmm.
gold, crisp, clean, and fresh. And he was in the house, and I was by the pool, and it just started coming to me. The
Mm.
lyrics and the melodies just started coming to me, and I was like, "Where's?" So I said, "Mark," I said, "Listen," I said, "I don't know if you can hear where I'm coming from," and so I just started singing, and
Yeah.
he chords to what I was singing, and he said, "Give me a minute to work with it." So I said, "Okay, you do that. I'm gonna go out here, and I did that, and came back, and he had it. He had the music,
Wow.
and was able to finish the lyrics, and then I don't even remember how we ended up demoing because I didn't demo it, and I
Wow.
don't, he demoed it. I don't know even know who demoed it, child. But the next thing I know, I get a
Yeah.
call. Bill Perry wants to do Pretty Lady.
Mm.
I was like, really? Oh my God. So I would say that's one of my favorite that I've written.
That's
That,
dope.
and then a song with Patty Austin called Love's Been Kind to Me.
Wow.
And those are some of the best lyrics I think that I've written.
You better preach, and baby, you wrote for some heavy hitters, so I know at the end of your pen game ain't nothing to play with. Okay, point blank, period. And I'm just so proud of you, Miss Gloria, because you really have made your mark in this industry, and I wanted you to always know that because, like I said, when I first was trying to, do it, because I knew that I was making 25 years, I said the one person I really wanted, I'm not gonna lie, was you. I wanted you because for me, when I love out the whole album, like I said back when I was in college, my graduating year. I would wake up every morning. I would listen to that whole album every freaking day. I don't know why, but it was just on my heart to play that album every day. But the one song that all of us gravitate to is "I Love Miss Him." We love that song. Every female I know loves that song. So we're not gonna sit up here and stump. People love "I Love Miss Him" because it's a beautiful ballad, and like I said, for Toni to do what she did on that album, and
Yeah.
for her, I mean, y'all had John B, Mark Nelson. I mean, the list go
Oh,
Babyface. I mean, everybody named Mom was on that album. Y'all
yes.
had some heavy hitters, and for that album to do what it did, to me personally, it's a perfect R&B album. To me,
I think so too. I do too. I
I
do
do
too.
too, and I just loved it because I said, looking back, I was like, wow. I really didn't realize it at the time when I was 7, but when you become an adult and you understand about love and heartbreak, this is an album that you can really go and talking in his sleep, honey.
Yeah.
Child, keep
Okay.
crouch. Whoo, baby, he did that.
Yes, he did all of that.
He did, and I'm just really just proud of what Secrets did for Toni, even though regardless of all the adversity she went through. But
Yes.
this album is really a timeless album. But I wanted to ask you, if you had to describe one word about Secrets being 25 years today, what word would it be? I have a word for it, and it means a lot to me.
Timeless,
Yep, and triumphant,
triumphant.
and triumphant. Yep, because for what y'all did for her, and looking back at it now, I was like, wow, whatever she went through, she was triumphant, and
She
this
was,
album is triumphant.
yes, very much so.
And this was a force to be reckoned with. And I was like, damn, Miss Gloria put them in her in a whole nother lane. I'm like, Toni, and like I said, for this album, I think this is everybody's favorite album for her, but for her to have the hits that people love from this album, she's forever gonna be famous for this. You know what I'm saying? Even though we love the first one, but the second one, something about the second one for her just really made her in her own lane of herself in 1996. It really did.
Right, that's right.
Man, I'm just proud of her. Like, I'm proud of you, and I'm just proud of everybody that was a part of this album, because for me, it goes to show you that no matter what, you can hit every genre and be a Black woman and do it.
Yes, ma'am. Get to my country roots. I'll get there one day.
Okay. Okay, exactly.
Maybe we'll do the reversal role of, you know how Whitney did Dolly Parton's.
Girl, y'all do that, baby. Look.
Country version of I Love Me Some Him.
Baby, you know these folks gonna do it. You know, and years later come by, you know somebody gonna take it and make it pop and switch it and flip it and make it something else. But as long as you getting that check, that's all that matters. I wouldn't care. Make it, because Toni already did it anyway, so what's the point?
Okay.
Just make it country and go big with it.
Baby.
Yes, thank you so much, Ms. Gordon. I want to ask you one more question. So do you have any advice do you want to get to people that's trying to get into this industry like you are, make a way for themselves?
Believe in yourself. Don't ever give up on yourself, because nobody's gonna believe in you like you're gonna believe in yourself.
Come on.
Really, truly believe in yourself.
Yeah.
Give up. Keep going. Do whatever it takes. And every time somebody tries to put a roadblock in your way, kick it out. Give it to God. Let him know, hey, I can't do it with that. I need you to move that for me.
Yeah.
Put it out the way and keep on going.
Yeah.
Because if you have a finish line in view and you put your blinders on, and you don't see nothing but that finish line, always finish and you always win.
Girl, that's one of the best advice I heard. But I love all y'all's advice, because what I've learned from every songwriter, every producer, every singer I've interviewed, I've learned is be yourself, believe in yourself, but not even that, stay true to who you are. Because if you lose that, you're going to lose yourself in this industry. And I'm just really proud of you, Ms. Gloria, for you to be so groundbreaking at this time. And for singers to be 25 years later, I can't believe it's this old. Jesus, Lord. Okay, but you know what? I'm so proud of Toni for this, because not even that, I'm just even blessed to even still be here, even talking to anybody from this album, because what this album has done for me in my life and for everybody that has really, it's been groundbreaking. It really goes to show you that this music is timeless. It's forever here. 90s music is forever to stay.
Yes,
it is. Okay, sis, and I'm so proud of you, and I'm so happy to give you your flowers on my platform and just really everything that you've done. Do you have any last words that you want to give to the people and the people on the platform and everything else?
I just want to say thank you all from the very bottom of my heart. I thank you for having me tonight. And just keep doing what you're doing, and you too will be blessed.
Oh, thank you, Ms. Gloria. Look, like I said, y'all, this is an R&B legend. So, look, I'm just here to just spread the joy, but spread the love, but always tell the stories from people that were groundbreaking in the industry and that have really changed the game forever. So, like I said, Ms. Gloria, I'm so proud of you, and God bless you from the bottom of my heart. And like I said, I'm going to make sure you see that article just to make you proud, just to go to show you that your pen game in this industry is timeless, is beautiful. And from me to you, God bless you, and thank you so much from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Oh, well, guys, thank you so much. We are about to end our episode with our interview with the beautiful Miss Gloria Stewart. Join me on the 29th of June. I'm getting ready to interview an up-and-coming indie artist, singer, songwriter, and producer, Mr. St. James. He will be joining me on the 29th at the 3 o'clock hour, my time, 1 o'clock his time, on the Pacific Central Time. Pacific Standard Time, excuse me, not Central, Jesus. And just for the most part I'm just really happy and proud to make sure that all my artists and unknown artists get the exposure for what they are, and making sure they are making an impact in this culture. So, guys, we are done with a beautiful interview with the R&B legend and songwriter and just all-around beautiful person, Miss Gloria Stewart. Thank you so much, Ms. Stewart. God bless you from the bottom of my heart. And like I said, if there's anything you need or any upcoming episodes for your clubhouse, let me know. I got you.
All right. You guys take it easy, okay?
Yes. Bye-bye.
All right.